I've been using FXIFY Future for the past 45 days and now I'm ready to tell you my honest review. First, I'm gonna give you an overview of this prop firm, then I'm gonna show you what type of challenges they offer and what are the rules that you need to follow, and finally I'm gonna tell you what in my opinion are all the pros and cons about this prop firm. If at any point during this video you also would like to try FXIFY Future, you can do so by clicking the first link in the video description. And once you get a checkout, if you use the coupon code STKTRD, like you see right now on the screen, you're always gonna receive at least a 5% discount on all your challenges, no matter the amount of the purchase. So, if you're serious about trying FXIFY Futures, I suggest you follow these steps. And now, let's start with the video. I'm currently on the home page of FXIFY Future, and a few of the things that we can immediately notice is that this prop firm allow you to manage up to $450,000 in simulated capital. They give you the opportunity to have up to 100% profit split. They currently offer 2 different types of account, and they give you access to 24/7 live support. A few additional features that make this one of the best future prop firms currently on the market are the fact that you have unlimited trading days, so this means that you can take as much time as you want to complete your evaluation phase. You don't have any maximum request amount, so this means that when you request a payout, there is no cap to the amount of money that you can receive. They allow you to request a payout every 14 days, and on average, it takes 24 to 48 hours to process them. As I told you before, you have the opportunity to request up to 100% profit split, and level 1 data is free for all the accounts, no matter if you are in the evaluation phase or in the funded stage. Another thing that I really enjoy about this prop firm was their dashboard. In fact, as you can see from this screenshot, the dashboard is really user-friendly and intuitive. And most importantly, it gives you access to all the information that you need to track the performance of your account and, for example, make sure that you are not breaching the daily or the overall drawdown. Lastly, FXIFY Futures also have a Discord community. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is not the best Discord community when it comes to prop firms, but I will say that it's good enough. And most importantly, if you are somebody who is serious about using FXIFY Futures, I suggest you join it so that you're always updated on the latest news regarding this prop firm. Now that I give you an overview of FXIFY Future, let's talk about the challenges that they offer. As you can see, currently you can pick between a starter challenge or an expert challenge. When it comes to the starter challenge, the profit target is 6%, the daily loss is 2%, and it's important to know that breaching the daily loss is considered a soft breach and not an hard breach. So this means that you won't lose your account, but you're only gonna be paused and you're gonna be able to start trading again the next day. The maximum position allowed is 7 mini contract or 70 micro contracts. The maximum loss is 4%, and in this case this is an hard breach, so this means that if you go below this amount you're gonna lose your account. The activation fee is $125, and what I like about this activation fee is that you're only gonna be required to pay it once you get to the funded stage. In fact, when you purchase your account, you're only gonna need to pay the monthly subscription. You can have a maximum of 3 accounts. In fact, as I showed you before, the maximum allocation is $450 because in case you purchase 3 accounts of the maximum size, that's the amount of money that you're gonna have under management. You have a minimum trading days of 4 to complete the challenge, and in the case of FXIFY Future, a trading day is simply a day where you open and then close a trade. You have a consistency rule of 30% both on the challenge phase and in the live phase, so this means that you cannot have a single day where you generated more than 30% of your overall profit. The payout cap is set at 60% of the buffer zone, but don't worry because later on I'm going to explain you exactly how the buffer zone work and how you can increase your percentage from 60% to 100%. You have a minimum withdrawal of $100 once you are about the threshold. The payout policy, as we have seen, is every 14 days, and the initial profit split is 80%, and purchasing an add-on you can increase it to up to 90%. Now let's talk about the expert challenge. In this case, the profit target is 7%, the daily loss is 3%, and also in this case this is considered as a soft breach, so you won't lose your account, but you're only gonna be paused for the day. The maximum position in this case is 10 mini contract or 100 micros. The maximum loss is 4.5%, and in this case this is an hard breach, so going below this number means that you're gonna lose your account. You don't have any activation fee. The reset fee is $225, so this means that if you fail the evaluation phase, you can either pay this reset fee and start trading again, or you can wait for your billing cycle to renew and start a new challenge. Also in this case you can have a maximum of 3 accounts. The trading days are lower compared to a starter account. In fact, you're only gonna need to trade for 3 days. The consistency rule in this case is 40% and it's only applied to the funded stage, so this means that during the evaluation phase you don't have any consistency rules that you need to follow. In this case, the payout cap is 70% of the buffer zone, the minimum withdrawal is still $100, the payout policy is 14 days, the starting profit split is 90%, but purchasing an add-on you can increase it to 100%. So now that I give you an overview of the challenges that FXIFY Future offer, let me show you a few rules that you need to be aware of. First of all, let's talk about the products that you are allowed to trade. In fact, since it is a future proffer, you are only allowed to trade the product from the CME group. More specifically, you can trade the product from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the Chicago Board of Trade, the New York Mercantile Exchange, and the Commodity Exchange. You are not allowed to hold trades overnight. In fact, this proffer only allows you to day trade, and if you forget to close a position, the system is going to automatically close it for you. The reason why you have this limitation is because when it comes to future tradings, the margin required to day trade is a lot lower compared to the margin required to hold trades overnight. You are allowed to trade the news. In fact, FXIFY Future doesn't put any limitation when it comes to news trading. Not only you can trade through the news, but you can also trade the news and take advantage of the volatility of this moment. But of course, as they say in this page, you need to be aware that during this period of high volatility, you might experience slippage, and this might make you lose more than what you planned. Now let's talk about the prohibited trading strategies that FXIFY Future doesn't allow. So going through this page, personally I haven't found nothing groundbreaking. In fact, the rules that you need to follow with this prop firm are basically the same that you need to follow with all the other future prop firms. Like for example, you are not allowed to exploit favorable fees, you cannot do reverse trading, you cannot do manipulating gaps or illiquid markets, you cannot do group trading, you cannot do latency arbitrage or statistical arbitrage. One thing that caught my attention is tick or micro scalping. In fact, as you can see from this page, micro scalping is not allowed, and more specifically, every trade that lasts less than 1 minute and has a target of less than 1 point is categorized as micro scalping. And here we can see a few examples, like in this case here, this trade was held for only 30 seconds and the profit was $10 or 1 point difference, and this is categorized as micro scalping. Another example, here we have a trade that was held for 45 seconds with a target of 1.75 points. Also in this case, this is categorized as micro scalping. And another example, here we have a trade of 50 seconds, target was 1.5 points, and again this was categorized as micro scalping. And if we scroll at the bottom of the page, we can see a recap of everything that is considered micro scalping. So if your trading strategy have really small profit target and you tend to hold trades for less than 1 minute, I don't think that this is going to be the right prop firm for you. But on the contrary, if your average trade duration is between 1 and 5 minutes and your profit target is a bit higher, like for example 5 to 10 points, in this case you're gonna be able to trade with FXIFY Future, because this type of strategies is not categorized as micro scalping but is considered normal scalping, which is of course allowed. Now, if you follow all the rules that I just showed you, you're going to receive your funded account. And a positive news is that once you get your funded account, it cannot be closed for inactivity. So this means that your account is going to remain active as long as you don't violate any rules. Finally, let's talk about the payout policy and the buffer zone. So as you can see, each account has a different buffer zone based on the type of account and the initial balance. When it comes to starter account, the buffer zone is 1% of the initial balance, while when it comes to expert account, the buffer zone percentage is going to vary. Like for example, for a $50,000 account is going to be 2%, while for a $100,000 account and a $150,000 account is going to be a bit lower. When it comes to the payout policy, currently FXIFY Future use a tier-based withdrawal structure. So this basically means that based on how many payouts you have already requested, you're going to be able to withdraw more or less of your profits. Let's say for example that this is the first payout that you request. In this case, you're going to be able to withdraw 60% of the amount above the buffer zone. Instead, if this is for example is your 6th or 7th payout, in this case you're going to be able to withdraw 100% of the amount above the buffer zone. And I know that certain traders might not like this type of policy because they want to be able to withdraw immediately all the money that you have available. But in my opinion, this is actually a good structure because it allows you to hold your account for a longer period of time. In fact, one of the most common errors that some traders do is withdraw immediately all the profit that they have generated. And this is an error because once you start trading again, you don't have any buffer zone to protect you for a withdrawal. And so what is going to happen is that you reach your first payout, you withdraw all your profits, and shortly after you lose your funded account. Instead, following this policy, you're always gonna have a buffer zone that is going to protect you, allowing you to withstand a withdrawal and to keep your funded account for a longer period of time. In fact, the reason why you are allowed to withdraw 100% of the amount above the buffer zone after you already requested 5 payout is because you have proven that you can be profitable long term, and probably even if you withdraw your entire buffer zone, you're still gonna be able to hold to your funded account. So, now that I give you an overview of FXIFY Future, I show you what type of challenges they offer and what are the rules that you need to follow, let me tell you what in my opinion are all the pros and cons of this proffer. The first pro of FXIFY Future is the fact that the daily loss limit is not a hard breach. So this means that if you go below that number, you won't lose your account, but you're only gonna get paused and you're gonna be able to start trading again the next day. And in my opinion, this is a huge advantage considering that there are a lot of proffers where just violating the daily loss limit means that you're going to lose your account. The second pro of this proffer is the fact that news trading is allowed. In fact, as we see, not only you are allowed to trade through the news, but you're also allowed to trade the news. So this means opening a position, for example, 1 minute before a red folder news event is released. Of course, this comes with risk, but if your trading strategy involves taking advantage of the volatility of news event, FXIFY Future allow you to do it. The third pro of this proffer is the fact that the activation fee only needs to be paid once you get to the funded stage. And in my opinion, this is a huge pro because it means that to start trading with FXIFY Future, you won't need as much money. In fact, if you can just afford the monthly subscription, you can purchase a challenge and start trading. While there are a lot of other proffers that charge in advance both the activation fee and also the monthly subscription. The fourth and last pro of FXIFY Future is the fact that you can get up to 100% profit split. In fact, as you have seen, if you pick an expert challenge and then you select the right add-on at checkout, you're gonna receive 100% of the profit split. So this means that you're going to receive all the profits that you generate and you don't have to share anything with the proffer. Now let's talk about the cons of FXIFY Future. The only cons that I found about this proffer is the fact that micro scalping is not allowed. In fact, as you have seen, if on average you tend to hold trades for less than 1 minute and you have really small profit target of less than 3 points, this is not the proffer for you. On the contrary, if you are a so-called normal scalper, so this means that on average you hold trades between 1 and 5 minutes and your profit targets are a bit higher, like 5 to 10 points, in this case you'll be able to use this proffer without any problems. So based on the type of trader that you are, this might be a huge con that won't make you select FXIFY Future, or it might be something that you can simply ignore because it doesn't affect your style of trading. So there you have it, this was my review of FXIFY Future. As I told at the beginning, if you also would like to try this proffer, you can do so by clicking the first link in the video description. And once you get a checkout, if you use the discount code STKTRD, like you see right now on the screen, you're always gonna receive a discount of at least 5% on all your challenges, no matter the amount. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, and until next time, happy trades!